Hey everyone, Kyle here, collecting America's pastime. Hope everyone's been doing well. It's been a long time since I posted a video, 4 years to be exact. Um, I previously sold a huge chunk of my Hall of Fame collection in 2022, 2023, and I went through REA to sell it. They were fantastic to deal with, but took the last few years to distance myself from the hobby, just take a hiatus, reprioritize my life. Um, we finished a huge chunk of the house renovation. I built this golf simulator, which has been terrific. I basically have two hobbies now, golf and cards. And the simulator allows me to spend way more time with family while also partaking in golf. I have access to about 1,200 courses. I can play a round of golf in 45 minutes to 60 minutes. Um, my wife and I use it for date nights. My kids use it. We homeschool, so uh, having something for them to do in the winter is very good. Here in Ohio, winters suck, so yeah, I can keep my golf game in solid form year round, and it's just a blast. If you have the means and the space for a golf simulator, highly recommend it. But yeah, my wife and I rediscovered our faith in the past year and a half. That has been such a fantastic journey following Christ, and it has opened up so many doors in our life since then. Particularly, I recently started a job in late August, early September at the local card shop. It's a part-time job on top of my main job, and I absolutely love it. And with that, the collecting bug is back, and I'm in a place where uh, I'm ready to rebuild the collection and refocus it with my kids. When I last made a video, I had one daughter, and we were expecting a second. Um, and now I have a 6-year-old daughter, a 3-year-old daughter, and a 6-month-old son. So yeah, it's life's been fantastic, and I want to. They collect Pokemon and some Jose Ramirez and Cleveland Guardians, and I want to keep nurturing their love for the hobby that they have already. So um, I've spent the last few weeks going through consolidating the collection and figuring out what I want to focus on. So without further ado, here is the uh, here's my previous Hall of Fame project, and this is where I was when I sold. The 318 number out of 340 is actually false. I didn't realize this at the time, only recently did I discover this, but I counted a lot of modern cards for Negro League players that um, do actually have playing days cards. I think I was in more of a sprint mindset than a marathon mindset, and kind of cheated myself there. So those have all been removed. And then I had a bunch of post-war players that I was collecting their last card, and their last card actually fell outside of their actual playing days years, and I've removed all those. So while I still had a huge chunk and tons of big names, I did not have nearly the complete collection I thought I did. So with that being said, this is where I'm at now. This is just what's left over from what I sold. I have not. I have recently bought some stuff, but it has not gotten here yet, and I am not marking it on the spreadsheet till it has arrived. So this is just what's left over. 173 out of the 351 Hall of Famers, 49.29%, 24 classes complete out of 83 now. And this is accurate. This is true to what I want to build. Um, so one change this time around is I am not just doing one card per Hall of Famer. I am collecting as many as I can acquire. If I buy lots and I get, and I'm focused on, let's say, Pat Gillick, for example, and I end up getting, you know, some George Davis. That's a really bad example. Actually, let's say I'm buying like a '70s lot, and I get more, Richie Ashburn, Mike Schmidt, Jim Bunning, etc. Um, I'm keeping all of them. I want to build something similar to what Mike, baseball collector, shout out by the way. He is a huge inspiration for me in life and in the hobby. His collection is absurd. On top of the organization and storage he has, I mean, he's incredible. And uh, I love how much he talks about his faith and stuff like that. So that is really really inspiring. So shout out to you, Mike. If you see this, we really appreciate everything you do. But he has the beast, and he has tons of copies of each Hall of Famer, and that's what I want to build. So I think that is something that my kids will take interest in someday and want to be passed down to them. So that's what we're going to do. I am shocked at how much I still have in my collection. I'm really happy with this number so far, and it's a really good foundation to build on. So the Cooperstown Needs Tracker is not something I'm going to show right now. That is just this spreadsheet broken down, way more concise. Just shows what I need. That way I can track what's on the way, and I'm not going to spoil anything, so that's for future videos. Cleveland Cooperstown connection. So Baseball Reference has a page that shows all of the Hall of Famers that have spent time with each franchise, and Cleveland has had 37 Hall of Famers spend time with them, either as players or as managers. Row 5 here shows the year or years they were in Cleveland, and then there's 37 here. Players acquired 14. I am collecting all of their Cleveland cards, except for the modern guys. There's too many of them to truly collect, so I'm just gonna put in here at some point when I get the time. I'm gonna put in here what I have of each. So like I have CC, I have tons of CC. I have tons of Jim Thome. I think I have Harold Baines. I have tons of Robbie Alomar. But yeah, there's some great names on this list. Dick Williams spent just half a season with Cleveland, and his 58 Topps card actually depicts him with Cleveland, even though he was traded from Baltimore to Cleveland in '57, halfway through the year, and then went back to Baltimore in '58, but Topps still put him in Cleveland for '58. So Eckersley, I have tons of Eddie Murray, tons of Winfield. Just some great names. Hoyt Wilhelm, Eddie Jaw, Sal Lopez. So the one that's at the end here that I was actually shocked about was Walter Johnson. He spent 3 years as the Indians manager from 33 to 35. Oh, baby's crying. And he has a 1934 Butterfingers card of him in a Cleveland uniform. He's on top of the steps in a typical manager's pose, leaning on one knee. So I'm excited to get that one. I also have the Indians and Guardians Hall of Fame. If you've ever been to Jacobs Field or Progressive Field, you know that there's a spot in center field called Heritage Park. The top part shows all of the Cooperstown Hall of Famers from Cleveland, and then the second tier, once you go past the bullpen, has all of the Cleveland Hall of Famers and the top 100. So gives me a chance to collect some really cool names. Sandy Alomar, Omar, guys that I grew up loving, but maybe Cooperstown doesn't love them, I guess. I don't know. Hopefully Lofton gets in this year, but we'll see. So that is that's that project. My grandpa's legacy project is next. For those of you who don't know, my grandpa played minor league baseball just in 1940, and then my great uncle, his brother, played in 1939. They both played for the same team, just different years. He played for the Findlay Oilers. They were in the Ohio State League. Findlay was the St. Louis Browns affiliate, and their manager was Grover Hartley. Grover Hartley had a 3-decade career. Played with some great guys, Mathewson, Marquard. His manager was John McGraw. Just so many great connections, and he has 12 cards. I have 10 of them. The only two I'm missing are the T207 Anonymous Factory 25 back and the 1966 James Elder postcard. I did acquire the 1917 D328 Wheel Baking card earlier this year. That was one of the searches I left saved on eBay. That is, I believe, only the second known copy of that card. And I couldn't believe it popped up. So, but then on top of this, I was also sent a photo, a 1928 photo of Grover Hartley in a Cleveland uniform by Doug on Net54. So, Doug, if you ever see this, really appreciate it. He reached out and wanted to send me something, and very kind of him. So, on top of this, I'm adding the 7 opponents that my grandpa played against, who all made it to the majors. So on Baseball Reference, they put in bold who has made it to the majors. And there were 7 players: Frank Biscan, Merle Settlemeyer, Ralph Weigel, Gene Woodling. He's the most notable. He's a top 100 Yankee of all time. Caught the final out in the 52 World Series. So he has a ton of stuff. Jack Cassini, Russ Kearns, and Miles Thomas. Miles Thomas, his playing days in the majors came prior to his time in the minors. In the Ohio State League. He pitched on the 1927 New York Yankees team, which was, of course, Murderers Row. So I'm going to acquire all of the cards I can. Merle Settlemeyer is the only one I don't know if I can find a card of, but we'll figure something out. So Jose Ramirez is going to be a second PC of mine, or a second player PC, Jim Thome being the first. This is the foundation I have so far. Just some really great stuff here. Jim Thome, I haven't put anything in here. I have thousands of Thome cards, so this will take me a while to catalog. But Thome and J-Ram. My kids love J-Ram, and he's going to end up being a top 2 or 3 Guardian of all time. So, and I of course love him. He plays the game the right way. He's everything you want in a ball player. So, and then Akron. I'm a huge Akron Zips fan. I haven't built this out yet either, but their soccer program is world class. Darlington Nagby, DeAndre Yedlin. They have so many good soccer players. Jason Taylor, Enrique Freeman's in the NBA right now. He's a 2-way player with the Timberwolves. Chris Bassett plays for the Blue Jays. He's a pitcher, Akron alumni. So, anyways, huge Akron fan. And I'll build that out. I have tons of the cards. I just, again, haven't had time to build it out. Some random wants. The Black Sox players, Moberg, Lieutenant Doolittle. Those two go together. I had those cards, but I gifted them to my parents' neighbor's kid. He's, I think, of middle school age, maybe early high school. Genius when it comes to history, and loves baseball, loves military, loves airplanes. And I gifted them those last year. So football, Ernie Davis, my mom's side of the family, tons of them went to Syracuse. My great uncle was the team doctor for the Syracuse football team when Jim Brown was there, and around the same time as Ernie Davis. So huge connection there. Golf, love golf. I want to start getting some golf cards and miracle teams. So I'll build this out as I think of stuff, but these are just random wants. Type collection. This isn't something I'm going to target. This is just something that I want to track. How many different variety of cards do I have? Same with the Hall of Fame project. How diverse is that collection type wise? So that's what I'm focused on. I think this is a collection that my kids would take interest in, and something that I want to pass down to them. That's not too cumbersome, and has special meaning. The main focus is obviously going to be the Cooperstown collection project. So, yeah. And lastly, the last thing I want to ask you guys is, what do you use? I currently use these boxes to store my Hall of Fame collection. They are slab boxes, but they're just cardboard. Um, what do you use to store your collection for, to easily get it out, easily carry it, etc.? I was thinking about Zion cases. I think that's a new company that has really exploded. I don't know what I'm going to do about larger issues though, like exhibits and postcards and Butterfingers. I don't know how I'm going to store those. So let me know your thoughts. I think most of these projects I'm going to put in binders, but let me know your thoughts on what you like to use, how you like to display it. Eventually, this golf room is going to become more of a man cave for me as well. So I would like to get furniture and stuff like that to store and display the cards. Let me know your suggestions below in the comments, and it's good to be back. Miss being part of this community, miss being part of the hobby, and yeah, find what you love, collect it, and God bless.